Welcome to the 2025 Festival of Cinema NYC here in Queens, New York.
Thank you.
For our viewers at home, tell us a little bit about your great film.
Well, the film is about the power of our thoughts and the impact that our thoughts have on our life. As we often tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we don't belong. Yeah, we are good enough and we do belong. And I really hope that people, when they watch the film, that they feel a little bit less lonely navigating that inner battle that so often happens to so many people.
Where did the inspiration for the story come from, and tell us a little bit about the writing process?
The inspiration comes actually from just the fact that I've always been very interested in the human mind and human psychology and why we do things and why we don't do things. And the actual catalyst for the film was when I was doing my internship in LA, and I love going to bookstores, and suddenly when I picked up a book, a little note fell out, and that note said, "You must first win in your mind before you win in life." And every time that I had a little conversation with people, I started talking about the little note, and a lot of people also just agreed with yes, I mean, I also struggle with thoughts and self-doubt and should I or shouldn't I, and that was this thing of wow, there's such an appetite for this topic, and I hope that it can just help a lot of people. So that was a big fire that went on in me, and I was like, okay, I have to create this story. And so then I started writing the script because that fire burned so deeply. And the thing was that we work with dancers, but the first script was actually with words, so there were no dancers involved, as I really love poetry, and so all the thoughts were actually speaking in a more poetic Shakespearean voice. But then I decided to change it up to the dancers.
Tell me about the writing process. You got this inspiration from a random note.
Yes.
In a bookstore in LA. So talk to me about going home, getting on your computer, typing this thing out. How long did it take, and was there any other inspirations?
There's actually, I think, a year and a half between the note and the actual script, because I did a lot of other things in between.
So that note lived with you for a year?
Yes, it was on the back of my phone and still is. So awesome. And then I saw it every single day, and that fire kept burning, but I did not know exactly what to do with it. Should it be a short film? Should it be whatever, a visual poem? Because I did that prior to short filmmaking. I also did a lot of music videos, so that was the zone that I was in, and that is actually my biggest debut short film. Actually, I see this as the launch project, and that writing process took very, very short. It took me 3 days to write, because again, it just popped, and I was like, okay, I have to make this story, and I have to make it. And when I say I'm going to do something, I do it immediately, and I just, I'm very disciplined and okay, this is it, this is what I have to do, and the calling was there.
Talk to me about the dance. The dance is incorporated so wonderfully in this film, and it's really hard to do. It's really hard to incorporate dance where it doesn't overpower the story or take away from the story. So talk to me about that aspect.
Well, what I really, really did not want was that it was a musical. So I really wanted to be a more metaphorical aspect to it. So it's actually a physical voice. And I the way that the script has been written, there are key moments in the script that just enhance the story as well. So I did not want the dances to just appear suddenly. I really wanted the story to move
So you didn't
forward.
want a random Bollywood film?
Exactly. I love
Bollywood films too, but you just want it spontaneous.
Yes, exactly. I really wanted just the arc of the story, to embrace that arc and just to keep building on her struggle and the building of her character.
Talk to me about building of that character, because you have put a lot of thought and a lot of backstory into that character. So talk to me about developing that character.
Developing the character. Well, it was also a big process with the actress herself, as she also struggles a lot with, those thoughts. So she really, really was on the same bottom and foundation as the character that she was playing. And we really talked talked a lot about what it means to us personally, where she then started to build that character upon those layers that we've built together just by having a conversation, just not really like rehearsing, just talking about the depth of it, so the roots making, that she can actually, get the soil, starting to build a tree. And that's what we built together by just talking, having a conversation that has depth.
Talk to me about the locations, because your locations are beautiful. Where did you film this thing? How did you obtain the locations?
Well, the locations are just in France, in the Netherlands, and in Belgium. So the cliffs were always a thing that I really, really wanted to do. I love the cliffs. I love this aspect of, the heightening and the wind, and that was, a big part of it, which is also very difficult because it's also a location where a lot of people, unfortunately, commit a lot of suicide. And so we had a lot of back and forth talking with the mayor that was like, okay, but does it actually it has a positive message? So and that's why we just went back and forth a lot, and then they actually allowed us to do it. We're so grateful for. And then also we have the hotel shoot, so that's where the atelier is of Mrs. Margaret, so the very charismatic mentor / teacher. That was in a hotel in Bruges that never allow film shoots to happen in their lounges, but this was the first time that they said yes, thankfully, and they've been a very big support. And the other parts are actually filmed in my own living room and my own kitchen, so where my parents live, where I'm also very grateful for that they opened the kitchen and they had to, we changed the entire living room into her atelier. So
how was that for your parents? I mean, you're bringing in a film crew, you're bringing in set decoration, they don't know what's going on, they just let their daughter do something, they're regretting it. Tell me about that.
Well, they're very proud and they're very supportive, and that's a big part also of this film and this process, that because without them I couldn't have made this film, and especially having them as helping hands and also helping hands on set, where they go okay, we have no clue how a film set works, but we're here, tell us what to do. So it's a big thing.
What did your parents do? I mean,
well, my dad was a driver, cast and crew driver.
That's so cool.
So he was always going from the hotel to the shooting location, and then driving everybody back or picking up stuff at the light department. Yeah, he's awesome. And then my mom, actually, she was one of the art directors on the film, because she's so talented at just making a space feel like a movie set and just make it feel like really a character piece. And so I think that was her calling, but she took it under her route. But what did it
mean to you to work with your parents in that way, that they are supporting your dream, they are supporting your livelihood and your artistic side? What did that mean to be working with them?
It's amazing. It's I think the foundation of safety, of trust, of giving, and especially if you can have that as your roots, it's a wonderful feeling. And again, I would never be here. I would never be in New York without them, as I still live at home just because I really want to make my life here in the United States. And they're very supportive. They're very okay, Charlotte, you have to chase that dream. And especially if you have found the thing that you want to do, because a lot of people don't find that in life, and they go okay, but what is my mission? What's my calling? And they go okay, if you found your calling, you should act upon it, and we support you fully. And that's it's one of the biggest blessings. And I also really, really hope that people, parents, see if I can support my child, please do so, because it's so important for their future, for their life, and for their sanity too.
If you don't mind me asking, earlier in the interview you talked about your own struggles.
Yes.
What were those struggles, and was doing this film therapeutic? Did that help you?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a very interesting part, because I think a lot of people, especially artists and myself too, struggle with, is it good enough? Am I allowed to speak? Should I speak? Am I allowed to be? And this film was a very big moment for me too, of okay, this story can be developed, and this story is allowed to be out there in the world. And that part of that perspective part of okay, I deserve to be here, I deserve to have a voice and to use that that voice, that's a big part in the process. And again, it's a bit like what the film is about too. So just try and create and fall down and get back up again, but don't lose hope and don't compare yourself to other people, which is a big thing in an artist's life, just like in all of people's life. But I think especially in artists, be like, okay, that person is doing that person is getting this, and you just have to stay in your own lane, stay true to yourself, and just keep going at it no matter what.
What did you learn about yourself professionally and personally while making this film?
Ooh, interesting. I think professionally that I really love, for me, the wholly four, which is writing, directing, producing, and editing. I really like, that entire trajectory. So the pre-production to production to post-production. Like I love to edit, I love to write, I love, the synergy between, finding the crew, getting everybody involved. So I really like that part. And personally, I think I learned how much that I also love to support people in this sort of like in a safe way, because that's also another aspect of like what I really wanted to be a producer on this project, because I really wanted to have a set where everybody is respected, where everybody feels that they can be themselves. And I think like personally that I've learned that I can give people a hand just to be themselves too, and that can change lives. Yeah.
What does it mean to be here at Festival of Cinema NYC? We could go out on the street over here in Queens, just thousands of people walking back and forth.
Right.
Every single one of them deals with self-doubt. Am I enough? If they lie to you about not dealing with it, they're lying to you. But what does it mean to bring the film here to Queens, where you have thousands of people walking past this theater that are dealing with this subject? What does it mean to you?
It's honestly a dream come true. I've always really wanted to come to the United States, but also just to come here with your work and be invited. It is one of the biggest blessings that you can have. And I was just sitting on the subway, just like coming here, or like this afternoon. And I was thinking, like, yes, everybody has these thoughts. Like, there are so many people, and you go, like, okay, that person may be struggling with this. Everybody has a different story, and it's so interesting to be in a city where so many different cultures come together and different human beings, but still have that same struggle or have that same doubt, as you say. So that's just very interesting where, a lot of things come together but still have the same line together.
What have the conversations been like after screenings and after you've shown this to your family?
Well, a lot of deep conversations, a lot of people that felt seen, which is also a blessing as a creator. A lot of people that say like, yes, I see myself, and yes, that I have to take action, because they've seen themselves in her, that they're like, okay, whenever that I want to try something, I also feel like, okay, no, I should not do it. So a lot of people that got put a mirror in front of themselves in a way, that saw like, okay, yes, I should act upon my dreams, and that is an amazing feeling. And I love that intimate conversation that people have that normally doesn't happen when you just like meet someone for the first time. It's just like very, I wouldn't even say shallow, but more like, the normal conversation. But when I bring up, like, for example, this is the film, then a lot of people go, yes, I mean, I also have the thoughts, and I also have those struggles. And then you can start building on that and feel seen and feel connected and feel like you have a hand.
What are you reading? What are you watching? What's inspiring you right now?
Good question. I mean, I'm so all over the place that I don't even have time to look at things. But I am. Wait, let me see. Like, I have so many books. I'm reading A Little Life at this moment. It's been on my shelf for the longest time. I also have War and Peace that is looking at me, like, from the Russian author. Like, it's looking at me every single day, and so I really want to start it. Yeah, and what am I watching? There's so many great stuff. Oh, I just watched The Friend, which is also a movie shot in New York, and it was amazing. It stars Naomi Watts. It made me cry. I watched it again on the plane. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
What are your social handles? How can we follow your successes?
My name is Charlotte Verminck, so it's just the handle is Charlotte Verminck, INCK in the end. And then also the film is called Mind of Thoughts, and the handle is called Mind of Thoughts Film.
Thank you so much, Charlotte, for sitting down with us.
Thank you so much.